So whenever we go home to Arkansas, we hear a common phrase, "Hey, there's those world travelers," which makes no sense to us since we're on the 50 states tour and not the world tour. But that changes today.
Today, we're leaving the U.S. This is the 50 States tour, but today we are leaving the US for only 8 days because a couple months ago this opportunity came up and we just couldn't say no.
Okay, so we've made it past security, and today we're going to be traveling 15 hours across 3 different planes to a new country. Now, you're probably wondering, why are we leaving the country? And while we're not going to give you the destination that we're going to quite yet, welcome to Amsterdam.
I bet none of you guessed that this was where we were coming.
That's a valid question.
We are leaving the US today because we are going on a workcation. And you're like, what in the world? Why would you do that? Well, at the end of December or beginning of January every year, we try to sit down and dream and plan for the year ahead. 2023 is going to take more than just a weekend, so we decided to make a whole vacation out of it. And we found a mistake fare online. Plus, with frequent flyer miles, we realized we could either go to Austin, Texas, or a new country for the same price. And considering we've been to Austin several times, I feel like that's kind of a no-brainer. But first, we're a little early for our flight, so we're gonna get some work done.
All right, boarding the first plane. Let's go.
Somehow TJ always gets in the boarding group that has the most people, and I always get in the last boarding group. But I'm not upset about that because that means I just get to sit there less time. This is flight 1 of 3 today, and when we get to Charlotte, I get to have my first airport lounge. There's no one there.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Flight deck. On behalf of the flight crew,
Welcome to Charlotte, North Carolina.
I put an air tag in my checked bag today for the first time. I just checked, it made it here, which is awesome, and now we have 2 hours, which is just enough time to go to the lounge. Welcome to the American Airlines Admirals Club Lounge at Charlotte International Airport. Charlotte has 2 Admirals Club lounges, and this one is the larger of the 2 at the intersection of concourses C and D. In the lounge, you can find quiet workspaces as well as a buffet, plenty of drink options, and let's not forget about the dessert bar. I got meatballs. The buffet menu changes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so you can literally spend the entire day here and not eat the same thing twice. That lady is making guacamole with any of the toppings you want in it, like it's custom. Okay, so sadly our time in the lounge is done. It wasn't like the lounge of all lounges, but I'm just thankful we went to a lounge.
We'll talk a little bit more about how we have lounge access later, but for now we're headed to flight number 2 to Philadelphia. Welcome to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I've never been to Pennsylvania before, but I'm still not counting it on my list until I actually leave the airport, which we'll do later this year.
Do you guys count it if you don't leave an airport? Do you count being to a new place? Or how do you guys normally do that?
But now we have barely enough time to go to the lounge and eat some dinner before our last flight.
So we're gonna be booking it.
So Charlotte only had 2 Admirals Club locations, but Philadelphia actually has 6. Oh, and the lights don't do this in real life. That was just TJ's phone freaking out. But like the other clubs, this one had a dinner buffet complete with desserts, and tonight's menu was a cheese and veggie plate with hummus and tacos. we got here just in time to get some food before we have to run to our next gate. It's kind of chaotic, but it's so exciting, and now we're boarding our last flight.
Once again, we stayed.
Safety, please hold onto the handrail and attend to children while walking.
Right. Once again, we stayed as long as we could in the lounge to maximize our time in the lounge instead of on the airplane. You did it in the last city.
TJ's been to lounges before, guys. I've never done that till today.
What are your thoughts?
10 out of 10 experience. Like, the line in the bathroom is non-existent and it's not chaotic, and that's probably the best part. And free food.
I was the only one in the bathroom when I went. Oh, here we go.
Fun story time. TJ spilled his Sprite not once, but twice on the last flight. So it's a good thing he was sitting next to me and not a stranger.
Yeah. First time I spilled it was on my computer. Hopefully it still works.
And
The second time
was on both of our laps.
Yes. So no more Sprite for me. Apparently can't handle it. Final flight.
We booked the window in the aisle and nobody is sitting between us. So we have the whole row to ourselves.
This is awesome.
Je kunt alle bagage in de bagagebakken boven je leggen. Zit je op een nooduitgang, lees je dan af de veiligheidskaart door. Leg je dan alles in de bagagebakken boven.
Welcome to Amsterdam. We don't really know what's happening. That was the nicest guy I've ever talked to in customs. That was awesome.
Let's go get our bags.
Okay. Yay!
There's one. There's two.
After collecting our bags, we headed to the train station where TJ attempted to navigate the self-service ticket machine, only to give up and end up waiting in line to get tickets to make sure we boarded the correct train to our Airbnb.
Alright, let's get on this train. We gotta go.
A short 15-minute train ride brought us to a suburb of Amsterdam called Divendrecht. We got off the train and now we're walking a few minutes to our Airbnb, and it's raining, but really not bad at all, just kind of a drizzle. And TJ almost took us the wrong way. He caught it right after we missed our turn, so we didn't go too far out of the way.
Does that mean 17 through 23? Because we're in 19.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. See? You can see him on here.
Hello.
Our Airbnb host Fatima gave us a quick tour of our home for the next week, gave us a few suggestions on where to shop and eat, and then the place was all ours.
Welcome to Amsterdam.
I bet none of you guessed that this was where we were coming.
We just checked into our Airbnb and met our host Fatima. She's fantastic. And we're gonna give you guys the tour of the Airbnb. But first, we gotta find some lunch. So we were told that like a 2-minute walk this way is kind of like the city center area of this part of town.
Yeah.
And they've got like a supermarket and restaurants and stuff like that.
And a mall.
That's where we're headed.
The Plus Market was right down the road where we got our first experience of Dutch shopping without knowing any Dutch at all. And that turned into quite the stressful grocery shopping experience.
All right, we learned our first lesson.
We went grocery shopping to get a few things to have here, and we hadn't eaten in like hours. We've hardly had anything today, so we were so hungry. And we couldn't read anything, of course, and so we were doing our best to find, like, we got guacamole and hummus, and we were trying to find, like, some lunch meat and that sort of thing.
We did great on breakfast. We got bananas, and I got a little box of trail mix.
We did great on dinner. We got salmon and vegetables to cook.
Lunch was a different story. We got what we thought was meatballs, but when we read the label in the Google Translate app, it's Indian meatballs. So they're definitely curry flavored. They're not bad, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
But that would have been a unlucky surprise if we didn't know that ahead of time.
Yeah, and we didn't translate it till we got back. But we were gonna save those for later, but we're eating them now because the other meat that we got turns out it's not actually meat. It's vegetarian.
It's fake meat.
Yeah, and it's kind of gross.
I don't know that we're gonna eat that.
Yeah, but we did get a bag of Doritos to eat with our snack lunch. And if you're from America and you know that the blue means Cool Ranch, you'll find this funny. It says Cool American Flavor Doritos, which I found kind of funny. And they taste almost just like Cool Ranch.
Almost.
Yeah, so.
But I mean, we're not gonna starve.
No, not at all.
We just didn't bring home what we thought we were bringing home.
It's funny, TJ like picked up one of these pieces of meat and was like, it's slimy. And then I looked at the package and I was like, oh, can you translate this for me?
I ate one. It wasn't that good.
I realized it said vegetarian. But this is just nuts because Dutch is so different than any other language that I've been around.
So moral of the story, lesson learned, Google Translate will be our best friend this week.
Yep. After eating our late lunch / early dinner, we were absolutely exhausted, so we went to bed early because we wanted to be extra fresh for our early tour tomorrow morning.